Hi everyone, and welcome to York Region Spotlight, a show dedicated to giving local youth an opportunity to share their success stories and to discuss important issues. On today's show, we're talking all about motivational speaking and how hearing just one success story can change your outlook on life. That's coming up right now on York Region Spotlight. One of the best ways to get inspired is to listening to stories that are full of success from motivational speakers. These individuals have the ability to make others believe in themselves, which is truly a gift. Today, I'm speaking with athlete and motivational speaker Shayne Smith. He's here to tell us about his amazing journey and how he's influenced the lives of so many teens across the country. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I've been reading up about you, and there's so much information on you because you truly are just an amazing person inside and out. But of course, I want everyone at home to know more about you, so tell us about yourself.
When I was 4 months old, I contracted a rare form of meningitis called meningococcal septicemia. Don't worry about repeating it.
I'm not going to.
I can't spell it.
Okay.
Thank goodness for autocorrect sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And what it did was it stopped all the blood in my body from flowing, so the doctors had to find where and amputate. Now, I was given a less than 2% chance to survive this disease. And, you know, everyone always says to me, Shayne, you're so strong. Oh my goodness, I don't know how you got through it.
Yeah.
I was 4 months old. I don't remember what it was like to get sick. I think the real strength comes from my incredible, amazing mother who, you know, for the next 8 months put 2 hospital chairs together and slept on them every night so that I wasn't alone ever in the hospital. And
okay, so we're starting off the show and I'm going to cry. Okay, great.
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. She sounds like a beautiful person.
She is. She's absolutely amazing. She is 100% where all of my strength comes from.
Oh, okay. Now my heart's fluttering. But now everyone knows you as a motivational speaker, but you're actually an extremely great basketball player. Did you ever think that all the success was going to lead up to that from basketball, or was it just kind of a dream that you had?
Well, I started playing basketball when I was 8 years old, and no one, including myself, ever really believed that I would be good at it. It took me 4 years to score my first basket, and then by the time I was 12, finally, I scored. By the time I was 14, I got kicked out of the league because I was too good. They had to move me up for the league for kids that were 17 to 22 at age 14. And I actually started giving, you know, inspirational talks and motivational speeches on behalf of my basketball team. So really, the two kind of went hand in hand. If it wasn't for basketball, I would have never found this amazing career and life path that I believe I'm meant to be on.
So basketball actually was your path to getting to motivational speaking. Wow, well, there you go. I guess you never know what you're going to get out of something,
exactly.
Right? Now, you've done so many speeches and motivational talks with a bunch of different groups all over the country. What has that done for you personally? I know you've inspired so many kids, but what has that done for you?
It's, you know, it's really great to be able to go out and give motivational speeches, especially when you have a great sponsor like I do. I have Tutor Doctor behind me, and what Tutor Doctor does is they send one-on-one tutors to the homes so kids can learn and really just be excited about going to school. They don't feel dumb. They're happy.
Absolutely.
And what it's done for me is, you know, a lot of people say, oh, it must feel so great being able to inspire kids. You know what? That's definitely a huge part of it. But you know what? Just because I'm doing motivational speaking doesn't mean that everything that's going on in my life stops.
Of course.
Right? So here I am. I get to go talk about things that I'm going through and have hundreds of people listen and care about what I'm going through.
I don't know, 100,000 different therapists,
exactly,
basically.
Exactly. So you know what? I get just as much out of it as the kids that I'm speaking to.
That's such a great thing, that it's not just them that are benefiting from this, it's you as well. Because I think it's great to share success stories, but if you can't touch on it on a personal level and gain something from it as well, it's pointless, right?
Exactly.
So, but oh, you're just such a great person. Now, other people that think you're a great person are huge public figures, such as, I'm going to actually read this now, Nelson Mandela, Queen Elizabeth, LL Cool J, and Vince Carter. I don't know, that pretty much makes my jaw drop because that is incredible. What does it make you feel like when you know these people know what you're doing and they've acknowledged your success?
I think for me, the two biggest success that I've had in that sense has to be Vince Carter and Nelson Mandela. When Vince Carter was playing for the Raptors, he had a thing called the Mr. Big Heroes of the Game.
Yeah.
And every home game, there was a youth that was honored by Vince Carter. Now, it was mostly his manager that picked them, and I was actually one of 3 people that were handpicked by Vince Carter himself.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised.
So for me, that was huge. But the greatest event that has ever happened in my life is when I got chosen to meet Nelson Mandela, and we had lunch together.
That's so cool.
It was
That's so cool.
the best. I can't put into words how I felt, and I looked up at Mr. Mandela, and I said, "Sir," and I'm not shy. I'm never shy ever.
No.
And I was very shy when I met Nelson Mandela, and I looked up at him, and I was very close.
I'm never speechless.
I was very close. I looked at him and I said, "Sir, it's an honor to meet you," and his power, he put his hand on my shoulder and said, "No, my child, it's an honor that I've got to share a meal with you," from Nelson Mandela.
I'm going on an emotional roller coaster here. I felt like I was going to cry in the beginning of this interview. Now I'm shivering because it's just, that's so amazing. Oh my gosh, you just inspire me so much. Now, what is your overall goal that you have when you are doing motivational speaking?
My main goal in the future is I would love to give a 5-10 minute version of my presentation on the stage of the Oscars or the Grammys.
I'll be your date, right?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, I would love that. That's, for me, my main goal that I will achieve in the next 5 years.
I believe that. I really do believe that because you've done so many things that against all odds, everyone thought that you couldn't.
Right.
And you've met people like Nelson Mandela and they know what you're doing. So I really wouldn't be surprised. Not to mention you just met LL Cool J. So I'm pretty sure they'll hook you up, right?
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
Now, what is the most standout feedback you've ever received from anyone that's seen you speak before?
I had a little girl in a school in Alberta who is dealing with suicide. She went through a very hard life growing up. And she told me that my presentation saved her life.
Oh,
and this was back in October, and I received an email from her a couple days ago. She's still alive because I told her that I care. That's all I did. I told her that I care about her and that I love her. And those 6 words,
I'm back to crying.
6 words kept her alive. So for me, knowing that, you know, my presentation has given someone a new shot at life, I don't think I could ask for any better recognition than that.
Okay, so remember I said I don't get speechless? Now I'm a little bit speechless because, I don't know, I've heard many motivational speakers talk, and of course they always inspire me, they make me feel good, but that's a completely different level. And to be honest, I understand where this girl's coming from because I've seen you speak before on YouTube videos and things like that, and it's something about your presence that you just emanate energy. But again, we're going to be talking more about that. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. We're talking all about motivational speakers, and we're also talking about inspiring kids to take action. We're now being joined with Josie and Clive, who are both also involved in this entire initiative. So I would love if both of you tell us a little bit about yourselves. Josie, you can go first.
Yeah, for sure. Basically, I'm Josie Lacorte. I'm 20 years old. I have a clothing company. I'm a fashion designer.
Of course, check her out.
I do clothing and jewelry designing, and I'm also a part of a company called Speakers Academy International. So what I do, I'm the creative director. So I handle all the graphics and all that stuff, but just the rest of the team, we go around and we speak, we host workshops, and we do training to train youth to be the best that they could be.
Awesome. Love it. Go ahead. How about you, Clive?
My name is Clive N. I'm 16 from Markham, Ontario, and I go to school at PLA Trudeau High School. I'm the founder and current co-chair of an organization called Prime Leaders of York Region. Just to clarify, prime in this case is like one in their prime, so like young.
Okay, cool.
Whereas, you know, a lot of people are like, do you think you're the best? And I'm like, no, no, no.
So it's more of a stay humble kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
All right,
So,
gotcha. I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah, I was like, do they know? Oh, man.
That's awesome, though. You're actually so young to start something like that, so that's inspiring in its own, so that's amazing. All right, so let's open up the conversation. The first question I have for you guys is, what is the most important aspect of motivational speaking or inspiring kids? Shayne, you want to open it up?
Yeah, I think the most important aspect of it is really to just inspire them, right? I mean, there's nothing more rewarding than having a child come up to you after a presentation and hear them say, you know, I'm going to be a doctor and I know that I can because of your presentation, right? So just giving them that belief that not only, you know, what they want to become, but giving them that thought that, you know what, they can and they will.
It's awesome.
I think one of the best things is just using your like vein to just inspire other people, because with Live to Aspire, it's like aspire to inspire. So aspire means to reach up, and inspire is to share. So with everything that we do, including Speakers Academy, as we're growing as speakers, and then going back and teaching them what we learn. So it's amazing because you get to grow with everyone around you.
You're literally beaming talking about this, and I love it because you're so passionate, and that just makes everything so much better. So I know you're passionate about your particular organization as well, so give us an idea of what your most important aspect is.
I think the most important aspect of getting kids to get involved is to say you have to portray yourself as a normal kid yourself. I mean, I don't want to portray myself as, you know, some kid who's like doing all this good stuff. I just want to be Clive, you know.
Right.
And if I can tell my friends that, you know, I'm getting involved, I think that they'll want to get involved too, because, you know, if your friend's doing it, oftentimes you'll want to do it yourself.
Awesome.
I think, so can I jump
go
in for a
ahead,
second?
yeah.
I think going on with that, when I speak, I don't go in a suit. I'm always in baggy track pants and a t-shirt, right? Because it's very important for kids to relate to us when we're speaking, right? We don't want them to look at us as some guy coming to give a presentation. We want them to see us as a kid who's going through the same struggles as them, just hoping that, you know, we can share our stories to help them move forward with their lives.
Well, we're definitely going to talk a bit more about familiarity later, because that's a huge tactic while you're doing motivational speaking. So we'll definitely talk about that a little bit later on. But I really want to know, what are your personal strategies that really make your motivational speaking effective, or whether you're even doing events? What makes it really effective? What's your main strategy?
I think it would be just connecting with your audience. And I feel like before the show we were just talking about there not being that many women motivational speakers, and just being connected with that, because like as Shayne would speak to an audience and be like, all the guys are like, yeah, I can do it, man power. What are the girls looking at, you know? And I find that that's one of my areas that I really want to connect with.
Right.
I think the most important is having fun, right? If you make an event that's fun, people will definitely want to go out, and then they'll really see, you know, being involved isn't, you know, just going to meetings and, you know, talking.
It's not a chore.
Yeah, it's not a chore. It should be fun, right? So I think we did a dance in March, and, you know, any student in York Region, live or study there, you can come. And, you know, we were pretty packed, and I think it went well.
Awesome. That's so great. Like I said, you guys are also passionate, and I really like the idea that you use different strategies. I was hoping that you guys wouldn't say the same thing, but you didn't, and that's the best part, is that you each have your own little niche and your own little special touch to really get kids going, and that really is great to hear. Now, a really big part of success is failure, and I think kids really need to understand that you need to go through failure and obstacles in order to achieve success, because like you were saying before, you don't want to listen to someone who is all, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this. Well, it's, I'm just me, and this is what I've been through, but I want to tell you that I've gone to what I've wanted to do because of all of this. So how important is it to address failure?
I think, you know, everyone always talks about failure as like, oh, well, you learn from your failures. That's the most important part. To me, I don't believe that to be true.
Oh, okay.
I think the most important part of failure is success wouldn't feel good if we didn't have it, right?
Right.
If we were just to succeed all the time, like, what? Okay, wow, I did something else, right? Where if we fail a few times before we succeed at something, you know, once we actually succeed, it'll feel great, and we can't wait to move on to the next challenge to succeed again, right?
Right. Just adding on to that, I mean, the sting of failure sometimes is what, you know, makes people succeed further on. I mean, if you fail once, you never want to feel that again. You just want to keep succeeding and succeeding, and that's really what I think drives myself and my organization.
That probably touches on to you as well, because as you're teaching these kids, they're not going to pick it up right away how to be a great motivational speaker. So I guess that failure really does help them just keep push forward.
Yeah, of course. I mean, even just personally, with, you know, failure hurts. It's not something that doesn't hurt. And looking at us, I mean, we're all in front, we get to be in front of stages, right? So they're like, oh, their life is probably perfect. They do everything great, and oh, great. But it's not, and we go through things along the way, and I feel like maybe taking them through the journey, and it's so beautiful with social media and all this stuff, we get to really be personable with all these people, and then be like, you know what, we go through this, but hey, this is what we do, and this is what we offer you, and I think that's what inspires people as well, knowing your personal story.
Now, see, prime leaders of York Region is a bit different because it's a team effort going out and doing events, whereas both of you do more of a solo performance, meaning motivational speaking. What do you guys think of challenging it with a team effort? Is that something that you'd be interested in doing?
I mean, obviously, you know, 2 heads, 3 heads are better than 1, unless you're Superman, right? No,
Unless you're Shayne Smith.
but no, I think working with a team is always important because, you know, you guys obviously have different perspectives than I do, right? And you put all our perspectives together, then we can really hit, you know, each challenge that each kid is going through, right? So I think working with a team is definitely very important.
Awesome.
Well, we're
It's okay, I do that all the time.
okay. Well, we're working with Speakers Academy International. I'm not solo. Like, we have a team. Like, we all play key roles, and we couldn't do it if it wasn't for each other.
Absolutely.
And it's just amazing because everybody has different experiences. Everybody's from a different background. Everybody does different things. So when we come together, we make Speakers Academy International as a whole.
I couldn't say that better myself. That was like so poetic. So for you, Clive, how important is the team that you work with?
It's huge. I mean, the team is really what keeps us going. But at the same time, there is always downsides to everything. For example, my bad.
No, go ahead.
Okay. For example, our oldest guy on our team is 17.
Right.
So we're all very young. I think we have.
We all just shook our heads right now because we're all a lot older. So we're thinking, wow, they're so great.
I think our youngest one is 13, I want to say.
Good for them.
But the thing with that is we have a large tendency to lose focus. And, you know, I'm 16. I mean, this is my first time leading an organization, so.
I'll let you keep here and
Yeah.
talking about your thought. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the show. We're here with Shayne, Josie, and Clive talking about motivational speaking and getting kids involved, especially to do with topics that affect our society in general. So we've already talked about your different strategies that you use while you're doing events or motivational speaking. Now I want to talk more about obstacles. What is the biggest obstacle that you faced while speaking to an audience or trying to run an event?
For me, this happened not long ago, actually. One of my favorite things that I love to run with the students is I bring a student and their teacher up, and I ask them to tell me something that they love to do. It doesn't matter what it is, just something that they love to do. Then I get them to yell at me that they're the best at it.
Oh gosh.
Right?
I would never
Because
be able to do that.
I just want them to understand that no matter how small, whether it's playing video games or changing the world, you know, I'm the best at it. And I had a teacher that wouldn't do it. He's like, I'm not the best at it. I'm not going to lie to my students.
Oh, geez.
And it's like, how am I supposed to sit here and inspire your students if you're not willing to inspire them yourself? Yeah. So for me, that was the hardest thing I went through when I was speaking, was not having a teacher participate.
Well, I'm sure the students realized that it was a teacher that was being...
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to say something mean about him, but he was just being wrong in the situation,
Yeah.
so don't worry about it. I'm sure you still shined. Yeah.
I think one of my biggest obstacles, well, it wasn't even a big obstacle, it was just realizing the circumstance and how it happened. Like, we went into a school and I was teaching one of the training courses, and I walk into the school and they're all guys.
Oh.
And they're all middle school students. So not only are they all guys and there's girls coming in to speak to them, but they're all middle school students, like totally like rah, 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 rah,
Oh, yeah.
not listening
No
at all. No, he's older than them. And just cooperating. We had to have one of the people on our team, one of the girls, like, do you guys realize what she's teaching you? Do you realize what the kind of information that she's giving you? And the guys are like, okay. I got this. So yeah,
Made
just
them quiet
learning your different scenarios of different people that you're speaking to. Every audience that you speak to are probably different and cooperate with you different.
It's the way you approach them, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think the hardest thing will be finding something that, you know, connects to your audience. So, you know, the event has to be something fun, which is risky, right? Because even though we are, youth. We're a pretty small sample size as compared to, you know, how many youth are in York Region. So it's definitely a shot in the dark whenever we try and run something. So that's probably the biggest obstacle. That's what I would say.
Well, the good thing is about your organizations that you guys cover usually one specific topic a year. So this year you're doing mental disabilities.
Right.
I don't think people realize how many youth deal with that topic. And I find that through motivational speaking and even just running events that promote certain topics like that, it creates a sense of community and a safe environment. Do you guys ever get that sense when you're talking that you really create this foundation of support?
Yeah.
When I was speaking a week or so ago, it was at a youth detention center.
Wow.
In a room with murderers and thieves and just crazy stuff. And I had a young man come up to me and tell me that he's not going home when he gets out because I've made him want to change his life.
Wow.
So I mean, to create a safe environment there is one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had.
So they're both going to be the next Prime Minister of Canada, basically?
Yeah.
Okay, great, awesome, and we'll just be us.
First lady.
Oh, good, done, perfect. See?
Oh, so you guys are getting married?
Yes, you didn't know
that?
that? So how about you? What does it feel like to create that safe environment?
Oh, so beautiful. Right now we're running workshops with Speakers Academy International. And just a few weeks ago, we had people just speak up. They didn't know. We told them to bring in a poem and talk about either a story or their poem that they wrote or one that they found online. And it was so beautiful to see people break out of their shells and really speak up. So that was a safe environment. And some people were like, "We're so coming back. You guys are so amazing."
That's probably the best thing to hear is when they're like, "I'm going to come back and do this again." Absolutely.
Yes, it was so beautiful. I think that was very
So how about you? Because like I said, your topic relates to so many people. What does it feel like to actually touch someone personally?
I mean, since I'm usually, you know, running events, it's hard for me to like get a personal connection with someone, especially because I'm not speaking to them. I'm not, you know, a motivational
You're being
speaker.
the boss.
Right. So I mean, it's harder for me, but I mean, if I do feel that one day, I mean, I know that it'll probably be one of the best feelings in my life.
Now, as speakers and just being the founder of an amazing organization, how important is it to trust the kids have confidence in themselves? Because that will really reflect whether or not they get involved, which is, of course, one of your goals. So how important is that?
Well, I think confidence in yourself is where it starts, right? I mean, in every presentation that I have, I tell students that I believe, truthfully, when I look in the mirror and I see a cross between Channing Tatum and Eminem with no legs. That's just what I see. I'm a gorgeous guy, right? And I tell them that 96% of women fall in love with me instantly. But, you know, I quickly switched that to the one person that loves me more than these 96% of women is myself. And that's where it starts, right? Because if you don't love yourself, then why would anybody else? So I think instilling that kind of confidence in a kid to love, respect, cherish themselves is definitely the start of their path to going on and becoming the great things that I know that they can.
Absolutely.
I think just seeing their potential before, like even just sitting in a classroom or sitting in a workshop and being like, you have so much potential, but you have so many things you're carrying with you, whether it's fear of public speaking. Let it all go. Leave it to the ground. The last workshop I said, throw it in the lake if you have to, but just take this and let's move forward and like take the next steps to becoming the best you possible.
For sure. Absolutely.
I mean, confidence is huge. I mean, I think in terms of doing anything, it's probably the second most important thing right after passion. I mean, you have to have that passion, and then you got to get that confidence to do it. If you're passionate and you're not confident, chances are you're not going to be able to do it. So it's like huge. It's so important. I can't stress it enough.
For sure. Now, really quick, because we're almost in the show, what can we see in future from you guys? Clive, do you want to go first?
Right. So on May 11th, we're actually running an event. So it's like a coffee house music kind of thing. So there's going to be food, coffee, and a bunch of youth performers. And we're probably also going to do a water balloon fight.
I'm there.
In June. Hopefully it doesn't rain. We're praying on that. But and then after that, we're going to probably start recruiting for a new term.
Awesome.
And yeah.
Okay, well, for Josie, you can definitely check her out on Speakers Academy International. All the cues are below throughout the show. And for Shayne, you can also request him to come to your school. He's an amazing person. Make sure you request him. I want to thank all my guests for joining our discussion and discussing your views on motivational speaking. We'll see you next time.